Pantheon AI presents NVIDIA's shocking China deal. Tesla Cybertruck fails, cybersecurity stocks explode. Welcome to the PAI Morning Briefing, everyone. I'm John, and it is August 19th, 2025. It's a bright morning out there, even if the markets are looking a little bit cloudy.
They certainly are, John. But that's why we're here, to help navigate through both the sunshine and the occasional storm. So grab your coffee, everyone, and let's get into it.
All right, let's kick off with that market overview. The S&P 500 is sitting at roughly 6419.3, so it's down just under 0.5%. And the Dow is looking similar at about 44,906.7, but it only dipped by a fraction, about 0.1%.
Right. But the Nasdaq is feeling a bit more of that pressure, isn't it? It's fallen over 1% to around 21,380.5. And the Russell 2000, representing those smaller cap stocks, is also down about 0.6%.
Exactly, and that caution is extending over to crypto. Bitcoin is trailing at about 113,720, down 2.2%, and Ethereum is also in the red, down nearly 3% to around 4196.
So the overall mood is definitely cautious. It's like the market is just taking a little breather, bidding farewell to some of that recent exuberance. It's as indecisive as a teenager choosing an outfit for the first day of school.
That's a perfect way to put it. So let's do our deep dive. The big story, as usual, seems to be in the technology sector. And despite that broad market weakness we just talked about, there are some really interesting bright spots.
You're talking about cybersecurity and AI, right? I saw that Palo Alto Networks reported earnings that beat expectations. That has to be a good sign for the sector.
It's a huge signal. It's like a beacon, really. It shows that even in turbulent times, sectors focused on essential services like digital security continue to offer real value and resilience. Their performance is a definite bright spot in what's otherwise been a mixed bag for tech.
That makes sense. Cyber threats aren't going away, so companies protecting data will always be essential. But the tech story isn't all positive, is it? I heard NVIDIA's been making headlines for different reasons.
Yeah, that's a more complex one. They're evaluating a variety of products, and there are reports about them developing a specific AI-focused chip for China. It comes right after they struck a deal with the U.S. government to resume selling there, but with a catch.
A catch? What's the twist?
The twist is a cut of roughly 15% of sales going to the government. So it's this classic case of balancing innovation against some really significant regulatory and geopolitical hurdles. It really highlights how intertwined tech and politics are now.
Wow. Talk about walking a tightrope. And speaking of navigating tricky situations, what's the latest with Tesla and the Cybertruck? I remember the demand was supposed to be off the charts.
Well, off the charts was the phrase, and it sparked a ton of enthusiasm. But the reality is that actual sales have fallen pretty short of that initial hype. It's a great reminder that buzz doesn't always translate directly into sales orders.
That's fascinating. So you have some proud owners who love the unique design, but the overall numbers just aren't there yet. Do you think it's too innovative for the market, or is this just a classic case of the engine needing some time to warm up?
It could be a bit of both. It definitely puts other automotive firms on notice. Now, shifting away from the tech giants for a second, there's an interesting development in the media space. DallasNews has seen some gains.
Oh? What's driving that?
MNG has increased its offer for the company to about $18.50 per share. Details are still a bit sparse, but a move like that often hints at some underlying confidence in a turnaround or a new strategy.
Interesting. So when we pull back and look at the big picture, what are we seeing? It feels like a market that's pulling in two different directions at once.
That's exactly it. It's simultaneously cautious and opportunistic. The big indices are cooling off, which could just be a healthy consolidation. But underneath, you have individual sectors like tech just buzzing with innovation and strategic moves.
And what I find so fascinating is that interplay between what's happening here at home and the global implications. You have Palo Alto Networks quietly leading a revolution in cybersecurity, which feels very domestic.
And then you have NVIDIA playing this intricate game of chess on the international stage. And then there's Tesla, reminding us how unpredictable even the most hyped products can be. It really is a grand, complex chess match.
So for investors and traders listening, it sounds like volatility is here to stay. With rate hikes, geopolitical tensions, and just how fast consumer sentiment can change, the margin for error feels incredibly thin.
It is. It's like walking on a tightrope. Nerve-wracking, for sure, but also a huge opportunity for those who are balanced and courageous. You have to wonder if this isn't just random chaos, but more of a fundamental recalibration of values in the market.
That's a great point. It feels less like a signal to panic and more like an opportunity for strategic rebalancing. So let's dig into that. For tech, Palo Alto's success seems to signal that demand for digital protection is just going to keep growing, right?
Absolutely. The question for investors is whether this is a one-off or a sign of steady growth. My bet is on the latter. As for NVIDIA, its China situation shows how international politics are reshaping innovation. That 15% cut is a huge deal.
It really is. It makes you wonder if these policies will stifle innovation or just create an advantage for companies that are good at navigating these murky political waters. And then you have the Cybertruck saga.
A perfect case study. It's a lesson in separating hype from reality. Is the sales shortfall a temporary hiccup while the market adjusts, or a deeper sign of a mismatch? It's crucial for investors to stay patient and analyze, not just react to the buzz.
And let's not forget the media sector. That DallasNews story might seem small compared to Tesla or NVIDIA, but it shows how traditional media is still trying to reinvent itself in the digital age. There could be some hidden opportunities there for savvy investors.
Totally agree. And all of this has global ripples. NVIDIA's negotiations in China can affect supply chains and trade policies that impact portfolios right here at home. Understanding those dynamics is key to spotting risks and opportunities that cross borders.
So from your expert view, what's the big takeaway? It sounds like diversification is more important than ever.
It's not just a buzzword. It's a survival strategy. You need to diversify across themes and sectors. Cybersecurity, for instance, isn't just tech. It's the foundation of our entire digital economy. You know, sometimes the stock market feels like my morning commute.
Oh boy, here we go. How so?
It's unpredictable. There are always unforeseen delays, but unlike a traffic jam, these market challenges give you a chance to strategize and find a new route. And eventually, the light turns green.
I like that. It prompts some good questions for our listeners. Are you leaning too heavily into one sector? How might these stories about cybersecurity or international trade impact your own decisions?
Exactly. And if you're ever in doubt, remember our AI co-pilot at Pantheon AI is always there to help with deep, actionable insights. Innovation rarely follows a straight line, and a little healthy skepticism goes a long way.
And a little humor never hurts either. I like to think of the market as that quirky friend who's always fashionably late but shows up with the best stories.
Perfect. So to summarize today's key takeaways, we're seeing broad market caution, but the real story is in these sector-specific narratives. Technology is leading the conversation, from cybersecurity's resilience to the geopolitical dance in chip manufacturing.
And while that short-term volatility might be unsettling, the long-term fundamentals in key sectors remain robust. The big question for everyone listening is, have you positioned your portfolio to reflect these complex, interconnected trends?
That's the question to mull over. Thank you all for joining us on this journey today. We hope it's been as engaging for you as it was for us.
Absolutely. A big shout out to Pantheon AI, your information co-pilot. We'll be back tomorrow to peel back more layers of the market. Until then, remember our motto. Learning shouldn't feel like a full-time job. Stay curious, everyone. Pantheon AI, your information co-pilot.
Because learning shouldn't feel like a full-time job. Take care and see you next time.